Hello and welcome to this new episode of Espace News for the weekly news starting from Friday the 27th of October. Now, this episode will review the progress made by NASA on ARTEMIS II and by ArianeGroup on reusable rockets, by Blue Origin lander and by a new company called ISAR Aerospace. We will speak about Mission 16, where the taikonauts are coming back on Earth and Starship is awaiting for flight testing. I will then reveal a new Jupiter's moon discovery and the launches of the week.
The second European service module was connected to the crew module to form the Orion spacecraft, which will bring astronauts around the Moon and back during the Artemis II mission. The integration was done at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, and this European service module will provide crucial life support and necessary resources, water, air, power and propulsion for their lunar voyage, ensuring their well-being and mission success. ArianeGroup showed the reduced-scale demonstrator you see here in this video, constituting the first brick in ArianeGroup's development plan to swiftly master the key technologies of the so-called SUSI concept, part of the pool of technologies for ESA rocket reusability. Following the first ignition campaign of the Prometheus engine on the Themis reusable stage demonstrator back in June 2023, testing has continued regularly, and the latest tests on October 20th ignited and ran the Prometheus engine for 30 seconds. And these tests of a complete stage running on liquid oxygen and liquid biomethane are essential in order to develop the technological building blocks needed for Europe's future reusable space launches. And the landing legs also underwent their first deployment test, as you can see on the footage. Blue Moon unveiled a nearly 3-story Blue Moon Mark I cargo lander demonstrator, or you could say a physical mock-up, so really a craft replica. Now, Mark I's early missions will pave the way and prove technologies for the Mark II lander for the NASA's Human Landing System for Artemis V. Now, these landers hitch a ride into space with a New Glenn with a 7-meter fairing. Mark I will be capable of delivering 3 metric tons to any locations on the Moon's surface. That capacity makes it ideal for a variety of logistics, infrastructure, and science payloads. Now, Bill Nelson, from the NASA administrator, was at Blue Origin's facilities and has tweeted this week, "Impressive visit to the Blue Origin Huntsville engine production facility. NASA is proud to partner with Blue Origin, especially on the Blue Moon Human Landing System, which will help ensure a steady cadence of astronauts on the Moon to live and work before we venture to Mars." ISAR Aerospace, a German launch startup, has announced significant progress with the development of its Aquila rocket engine. The company has confirmed that flight versions of the engines are currently being manufactured. ISAR is developing Spectrum, a 20-meter tall 2-stage launch vehicle that is designed to carry up to 1 ton to low Earth orbit. Now, the first stage will be equipped with 9 Aquila engines, and the second stage will feature 1 vacuum-optimized version of the engine. The company announced that it had made significant progress with testing its engine at its Esrange test site in Sweden. According to ISAR, a Aquila engine was fired for 260 seconds, which is longer than the engine will be fired during a flight. And the company has also hot-fired a single engine 6 times without any refurbishment between ignitions. Mission 16 taikonauts have left the Tiangong space station after 5 months in space, following Mission 17 taikonauts arriving at the station last week. The 3 taikonauts, Jin Haipeng, Zhu Yangsu, and Gu Haichao, have landed at the Dongfang landing site in Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region in North China. The capsule has, interestingly, only one large parachute. The journey was luckily uneventful, and the crew appeared healthy at arrival. The Mission 17 crew have just arrived at the Tiangong space station and will reside there for about 6 months. The space station is located in a circular low Earth orbit at 425 kilometers, about 40-45 kilometers higher than that of the ISS, and rotates at a speed of 28,000 or just under 28,000 kilometers per hour. At starbase, not much to report this week. A few movements on the Ship 25 off and on Booster 9, as we have seen in the past weeks. Ship 28 is being completed and Ship 26 transported from the launch site to the rocket garden. The Star Factory is still in construction and the wall around the launch mount is growing in height. The world's biggest rocket launch license is still outstanding. However, the FAA has specified this week that it has completed its safety review focused on public health and safety of property. What remains is the environmental review carried out by the Fish and Wildlife Service, or FWS, to update the biological assessment under the US Endangered Species Act to be completed. The guess is that SpaceX may be able to launch its Starship flight test number 2 on the 3rd week of November at the earliest. Sierra Space has been doing quite a significant progress on his dream chaser called Tenacity. This is the cargo version. As you could see on the picture, is nearly finished and in fact on his way as we speak to NASA Armstrong facilities, as informed by Sierra Space Twitter post, as you could see this week. For the first time, NASA's Juno mission has detected mineral salt and organic compounds on the surface of Jupiter's moon, Ganymede. The findings suggest that an underground ocean brine is reaching the crust of the icy world. The data of this discovery was collected by the Jovian Infrared Auroral Mapper Spectrometer, also called GRAM, aboard the spacecraft during a close flyby of the icy moon. Larger than the planet Mercury, Ganymede is the biggest of Jupiter's moons and has long been a great interest to scientists due to the vast internal ocean of water hidden beneath its icy crust. Previous spectroscopic observation, by the way, for example by NASA's Galileo spacecraft or Hubble Space Telescope and this very large telescope of the European Southern Observatory, have hinted of presence of salt and organics, but the spatial resolution of the observation was too low to make a determination. So now we know the truth. 29th of October, SpaceX launched 22 Starlink V2 mini satellites to circular low Earth orbit at 525 km altitude at 53-degree inclination for his Mission Group 7-6 on board of a Falcon 9 Block 5 from his Space Launch Complex 4E at Vandenberg Space Force Base, California. The first stage landed 642 km downrange on the drone ship Of Course I Still Love You for his 7th time. October 31st, SpaceX launched 23 Starlink V2 mini satellites to circular low Earth orbit at 530 km altitude and 43-degree inclination for his Mission Group 6.25 on board of a Falcon 9 Block 5 from his Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. The first stage landed 642 km downrange on the drone ship, just read the instructions for his 8th times. October 31st, China Aerospace Science and Technology Corporation launched a Long March 6A with on board his Chang'e 5 satellite from Taiwan Satellite Launch Center in China. The satellite is said to be used for geographic mapping, land resource survey, unspecified scientific experiments, and other missions. November 2nd, Virgin Galactic is sending his last Spaceship Two flight of the year for his mission Galactic 5 with a research mission from his spaceport America in New Mexico. Scientist Dr. Alan Stern and researcher Kelly Gerardi conducted 5 specific research experiments whilst at an altitude of 97 km. Alan is a planetary scientist most known for his role as principal investigator of NASA's New Horizons mission, which flew by Pluto in 2015 and is currently exploring the Kuiper Belt. He has flown a biomedical harness to collect physiological data related to human spaceflight and conduct practice activities for an astronomical experiment of the NASA flight. Kelly is a mission operations lead at Palantir Technologies, a payload specialist at the International Institute for Astronautical Science, and the third astronaut, a Franco-Italian nationality citizen, was not named. This mission was Virgin Galactic's 6th flight in 6 months. This week's image was taken by the NASA's Hubble Space Telescope, showing part of the Veil Nebula or Cygnus Loop. To create this colorful image, observations were taken by the Hubble's Wide Field Camera 3 instrument using 5 different filters. New post-processing methods have further enhanced details of emissions from doubly ionized oxygen, shown here in shades of blue, ionized hydrogen and ionized nitrogen, shown here in shades of red. So much we do not know about the universe, and the various instruments from Hubble are creating such a beautiful spectacles of colors. Thank you so much for joining me in this week's episode. I'm Christophe Paget, and that was your space news. Have a great week and see you at the next episode. Bye bye.